The Seattle Sounders' brand new 2025 kit is here, inspired by two traditional Southern Coast Salish weaving techniques, twilling and twinning. These techniques, passed down through generations, honor the resilience, deep-rooted ties, and creativity that define the cultural fabric of this region. The striking deep blue jersey will be worn by the Sounders for the next 2 seasons to honor the club's deep connection with the Puget Sound and shared responsibility as stewards of the greater Salish Sea watershed. Backing up that commitment, the Seattle Sounders will donate up to $50,000 to benefit community charities around the Puget Sound region. To get your very own Salish Sea kit, visit lobbingscorchers.com/kit. That's lobbingscorchers.com/KIT. Ladies and gentlemen, you might need a new kit after the match we just watched because you might have ripped yours in half in frustration. Ari, post-game show, how we feeling?
That was a disaster.
That was a nightmare.
I don't think that could have gone worse.
I don't think so either.
So many counts. I fully was prepared and accepting of the reality that they might not advance in this series. You know, it's a hard series, and they didn't score in the first leg. So I wasn't going into this like feeling amazing about their chances. But like I said, I mean, that went as badly as it possibly could have gone, both just in terms of what happened on the field and the injury situation that you're now dealing with, which is really bad. In the past 2 games, you've now had De La Vega go down with what looks like a multi-week recovery type injury. You have Jordan Morris pull up with his with what looks like a hamstring, which usually that's a multi-week injury, if not longer. And then you have Paul Arriola go down with what looked like a serious knee injury. Like they didn't give any updates on the broadcast.
Nico Moreno was reporting that it was potentially a knee injury.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to speculate, but that looked like a serious long-term injury. I would be surprised if it's not. So
yeah,
like on top of the result, that has ramifications for the season going forward now, because realistically right now, unless we hear different, which we might, it looks like you're looking at the next 3 to 4 weeks at least without De La Vega and Jordan Morris, and you're probably looking at the season without Paul Arriola. But let's just talk about the game, I guess, Noah, and talk about why we think that happened. I mean, I actually thought the first like 3 to 4 minutes were pretty good.
Yeah, no, I would say if
like the first 3 or 4 minutes, I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, if we could just cut out the 90 plus of those minutes and just do that first 5.
Yeah,
you cut that. That's a highlight tape moment for the Sounders right there.
It started off like okay, and I was actually feeling pretty good through about 5 minutes. The rest of the first half was it was a disaster. Like the Arriola injury obviously would have been a cloud regardless, but
right.
They were so bad in possession, Noah. Like the giveaways.
No, it was so bad. I think I literally posted, I was like, I think this is the worst passing performance I have ever seen from the Seattle Sounders. It was embarrassing. The surface. No. That was awful, Ari. That was awful.
The one I bring up is always the Toronto FC MLS Cup that they lost, the 2017 one. That's what that looked like. That yes. If you watch that game back, you'll see that it was just as bad as that. But that's happened to this team in finals like a few times now. or in big games. Like they just get in this zone where they cannot keep possession. So like they kind of chalk themselves just on that. Like you need to score a goal. You can't score if you can't keep the ball at all. I think at one point the split was 70-30, which it's fine to yield possession if you're keeping them into possession without purpose, which I thought for stretches of the first half they did that. But like realistically, they got pretty lucky to get out of the first half at 1-0. The first half was terrible.
It was brutally bad. I thought, like, yeah, going into half, if you can be 1-0 at halftime, I'm like, okay, you're not out of it. Like, I think you even texted me and were like, oh, we're not out of it, but like this shit does not look good. And
Didn't it feel like they were out of it though?
It did. But it was one of those things where it was like, okay, halftime, who knows? Brian Schmetzer, locker room talk. God only knows. You just need to score one. You don't need to win the game. You just need to score one. And it felt like there would be one chance that they could finish on. It felt like there would be one ball that Jordan Morris or Jesus Ferreira or, God forbid, Paul Rothrock would finish. You know what I'm saying? It was just like it didn't feel impossible, but it felt like the tallest mountain to climb.
I think the game was lost in large part in the midfield. I thought the midfield got pretty much overrun all night long. Christian got pretty lucky to not get a red card. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm biased. I thought that would have been a harsh red, but it could have been one.
It could have been.
Obed honestly got a little bit lucky to not get sent off. They got
lucky.
Obed
was playing with fire today. Like, crazy. I mean, I get it. You play into that game. He's supposed to be a very quality player. This is a game where he's supposed to shine and thrive. And I don't think it was his best day at the office. And so I can understand getting tilted, but you did see him lose his head. You saw him like he's a young player, and like that sucks. But like, dude, it's okay. Like, calm it down. And I felt like that happened so much. Just like some bullshit would happen and it would just crumble. Shit would just crumble.
Zippy Tuna, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Can I just say we are conceding way too many goals? Yeah, I mean, you never want to. So like they gave up 4, and you could say that that the third and fourth were when the game was like it was desperation time at that point, and it was more about like game state than bad defense. But like they really, like, I don't really think you can rationalize with that because they got pretty lucky to not give up a couple more in the first half. So
yeah, I mean, it was brutal. I do want to say, like, going into that second half, I want to hear what you have to think about the substitution patterns. I saw some people a little bit upset that at Brian's subs, but like personally, I didn't have a problem with what he was doing substitutionally.
I thought the Danny Leyva for Jesus Ferreira sub, like, I didn't really get it, but I mean, the way I think he probably was thinking of that is that they were so bad in possession, so bad that, and Danny Leyva could theoretically help with that. That's the rationale that I would think is at play there. But anyway, we are taking calls tonight, folks. If you want to jump on here and cope with us, it looks like we got Spencer in the queue. Let's bring him on right now. It looks like he's going no video. We got Spencer and then Mark. Spencer, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you, man. Talk to us. How are you feeling after a CCC crash out of epic proportions, frankly?
I can't even find the energy to crash out about this game. It's just like, it was cursed, you know? Like, we can say that they play bad, but like when Jordan Morris and Paul Ariel go down with like non-contact injuries, the game's just, it's cursed. It's chalk. There's nothing good happening there. And I really just can't even, like, I see people coming at Brian already for the substitution patterns. Like, we can talk about Christian, we can talk about Obed, we can talk about Paul Rothrock, but like, that's just a tough game, you know? Like, we can scrape go all we want, but like I don't know. I'm just at a you can't win them all place with this game. I kind of wish I watched LAFC Columbus tonight. I'll be honest with you.
It might have been a way more cathartic experience, but that's another bad note. LAFC are advancing. They got 2 bammed on them, but Columbus, of course, because they're Columbus Crew and they're worthless. They couldn't even get a 3rd. It's like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying about it feeling cursed. That's what it. As soon as Jordan pulled up, I was like, this might just be cursed. This might be chalked. Like they weren't. It was weird because it was going so poorly that it felt like they should be down by a lot, but they really had a chance to win this series for most of the second half until the very end. And even when they went down 2, I liked the fight to get one back. I was happy for Moose that he got one. I think Moose is taking more heat than is necessary for a 3rd striker, but I don't know. Spencer, how are you feeling?
Let's give it. We got a bunch of callers, so give us your final
give
thoughts
us your final
Sorry to rush you.
I mean, it's just my whole deal about it was just like the press. Like in the first Cruz Azul game, we looked really bad for the first 30 minutes. We couldn't connect any passes. And then like we hit that 30-minute mark and we figured out how to beat Cruz Azul's press. We were able to connect some passes. That game looked so much better. And I thought we were going to hit that. And like, it just never happened. We could not press. And then we got sat back so deep that like the Sounders don't press a ton, but they do a lot of that repressing up in the final third, but we could never get up there to get that press to cause them problems. And so I think it was just what was happening off and around the ball, not even the passes. Like, I don't know, I don't know if it's just the short rest or God forbid the altitude, maybe even that field, but like something just seemed off with our passes. And I'm willing to bet a lot of it's the pressure that was coming from their press that we just could not figure out how to get around tonight.
Well, thank you, Spencer. We appreciate you calling in.
Peace out. And, love the show.
Yeah, we love you. For the call, Spencer. Appreciate
Thanks for calling in. All right, next up, Mark, give us a thumbs up if you're ready to go. You look cozy mode in there. Thumbs up. Here comes Mark Kastner, Sounder at Heart, and Lobbing Scorchers fame. Just Mark, welcome to the show.
Thanks
crash out or crash up? I don't know. Where are you at?
I think people will probably be annoyed that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to crash up about this.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah, be the one because I'm gonna be crashing out.
Yeah, so it's a tough loss for sure, and especially in the way that like they kind of just gave up after that 3rd goal went in, which isn't great, but it's always worth trying to win this competition. I think it's worth the rotation that we experienced the last couple of weeks. I think it's worth trying to figure out the best 11 you've got in this competition because you never know what can happen. And, we're the only ones who ever win it, at least on the MLS side. And so I liked the Sounders' chances this year, and it kind of goes the way that it goes, as it goes every year, but I kind of look at, we found a decent way to play. They played like garbage tonight. I don't think they played like garbage in the first leg. They just weren't clinical enough and probably a little unlucky in terms of like variance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now, like in kind of putting the injuries aside to like for a second, you've got like 6, 7, 8 weeks of MLS just every Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's it. Before the Club World Cup or before like a pretty tough MLS run before the Club World Cup. So I'm like, it's a good time to figure out like, okay, are the Sounders the deepest team in MLS who can kind of step up?
They were an hour ago.
Yeah.
They were an hour ago.
They might just be a normal MLS team now. So
yeah,
we're cool. I think even, like worst case scenario, I'm pretty sure Paul Ariel is going to be out for a while. That didn't look good.
He can have my knee. Like,
well,
I don't really need it.
I've seen your knees. They're not great. So
they work.
Well,
I can run.
I'm
deceiving. I'm like Jordan Morris. I'm fast.
I don't think they're professional athlete knees, but
that's true. All right, Mark, I want to ask you this because we got a super sticker. Christian Roldan had a shocker of a game. I just hope this result doesn't send this season into a spiral. Let's get your Christian Roldan takes before we grab another caller here.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually been that good all season. I don't think he's had a good game yet. I'm going to be like completely honest, and it's hard to trash on the guy that's going to break the appearance record and stuff like that, but he's just not been playing super well. I don't love this setup for him. Like, he's the one that probably has to sacrifice his game the most to make the whole thing work. So that's all right. He'll be okay.
That's a scorcher.
So he'll be fine.
That's a certified scorcher, Mark, because I think Ari's been on the opposite team.
Well, so I would say I see that a little bit differently in that I really liked how Christian played the first couple games of the year. I wouldn't say I've noticed that he's been actively bad leading up to this game, but I thought he started out hot, leveled off a little bit, and then I think tonight might have been the worst game of his career. He got.
I just said I don't think he's been that good this year. I don't think that means I think he's been like terrible or anything. I think he sets a really high standard for himself, and I think if he was honest, I don't think he's necessarily met that yet this year. So that's all. I mean, maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not. So,
well, Mark, thank you. Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Mark, thank you for calling in. Sorry, my brain is scrambled eggs. We need to get you back on the podcast, so we'll text you about that.
Yeah, we'll get you on soon, Mark.
Appreciate a full Mark dishing. We appreciate you. Peace and love. Bye, Mark. All right, next up, Rory, are you ready to call in? Give us a thumbs up. There we go. Rory, welcome to the show. Crash out or crash up?
How are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm stuck in between both. I think just like a couple of questions mainly were with the kind of game plan. Like, it felt very much like we were playing for penalties from the very beginning. Like, especially after the 30th minute, where it just became very apparent very quickly that, like, you know, we had almost no attack in this at all, and we were really up against the Kosh. And just, yeah, like, I'm not too pleased about the changes that were made to, you know, become a little bit more attacking. And, you know, Ariola goes down, Morris goes down, right? What can you do? That sucks, right? You can't control that. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately I'm not happy that we're out of this competition, but, you know, like, if we should house our way through to the next round, and then we lose to a better team there. Well, maybe 2 more MLS games go by that we are really kind of under pressure or rotating massively. You know, like, I don't think this team looks like they could go all the way. I'd say that's probably true from the game against Charlotte, you know, these 2 games now here as well. And the LSC game was great, but, you know, I just don't think we're going to be that consistent. And so, like, ultimately, like, this, I think this game really sucked. There's some questions to be asked, but I'd just say, you know, listen, like, let's just move on, like, move up and move on. You know, hopefully the injuries aren't too bad and we can still put together a really strong season and ultimately be ready for the Club World Cup.
So what are you looking for then out of this season as a barometer for quality and, like, this is a good season?
Yeah,
is it a trophy still?
I think on paper they can definitely win a trophy. I think, you know, a big thing's going to be those questions or the injuries, right? Like, that's going to be a massive question. But, like, ultimately, I don't know, like, 2021 we won the CCL, and, like, after that it just kind of turned into a dumpster fire, and the team hasn't really been exciting since then. And so I'm just looking for, like, an exciting team on the field again. Like, you know, the trophy would be fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong, I want as many wins at home, but, you know, ultimately I'm just looking for a reason to go to Sounders games again and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a really great time, and, you know, we'll hopefully win by a couple numbers, all right. But, you know, just a solid team on the field would be my only ask.
I think that's a great point. We've been beating that drum since last season that, like, we want to be entertained as much as the results, you know, like, so if they are able to, like you said, throw this in the bin and become that team that we hoped they would before the season going forward, then I think this will sting a little bit less. But Rory, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. Looks like we got a couple others in the queue here.
Yeah, take care.
Siri, let's do some super chats right before. I see you, disc golfer. If you're ready, give us a thumbs up. We're going to do these super chats and then hit you. Sweet. Okay. We'll hit this from Zippy Tuna. I could just say we're conceding way too many goals. I guess we did hit that one, but thank you, Zippy Tuna, for the $2. And does Jesus Ferreira get a run up top now? Ari, what do you think about that?
I mean, we should probably talk about the one that he skied, because that was a huge play in the game, man. Rothrock made such a good play.
Oh my God, Rothrock!
He put in the ball exactly where it needed to be put. And look, one of my pet peeves is when people are talking about strikers, or when any player misses a goal and they say, or misses the target, and they say that has to be a goal right there. That always like drives me nuts, because it's like, well, yeah, like good detective work, Sherlock. Yes, that does have to be a goal. But like that that was just such a tough one, man. And we've been on the Ferreira train. We liked the signing. I don't rate him any differently as a player off one skied chance, but that was brutal, man. That was brutal.
I think what's more concerning is he came off so quickly. I was kind of like, why is he coming off? So I'm still wondering, is he fit? Is he fit? Is he still there? I don't think he's a bad player. I just think maybe that's part of it, is that he's not fully fit. He's not fully integrated, and that is a problem. But yeah. This next super chat here, thank you for the $2, William. Disaster loss for the Sounders. CWC will be tough. Ari, is it going to be impossible? Do you think they even get a draw?
I just don't really care that much. I look at that as like an exhibition tournament, you know, like I just don't want them to embarrass themselves at the CWC. That's basically my criteria for success. I wouldn't say they embarrassed themselves tonight, but they were towing that line. That line. So that's my hope for the Club World Cup.
And our final super chat here before we get to Disc Golfer from Zippy Tuna. Thank you for the $2 again. Weird Christian wasn't subbed, looked gassed at 55. He just had a bad game, man. Maybe it was he was gassed. That is, bad elevation, everything, but I think he just had a bad showing. Agree? Disagree? Thumbs up, thumbs down, Ari?
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered it with Mark, but I was just like, we've seen Christian be an elite player in this league for too long for me to like. Again, it's the same thing I was saying with Ferreira. I'm not going to change how I rate a player off one game, but yeah, I mean, I guarantee you he would tell you that it was one of the worst games he's played in his career.
Yeah. All right. Joining us now is Disc Golfer, one of our OG subs and one of our favorites here on the show. We don't have favorites, but if we had them.
What's going on?
Can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome to the show. Crash up, crash out.
So, crash out slightly.
All right.
I just want to reply to Mark real quick. I'm sorry, Mark.
On blast.
Mark Kastner, love you. Your Blue Sky is a banger account. It's a lot easier to crash up when you're a Liverpool fan. As a Leicester City fan, I'm crashing out. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I think this game, I am okay with losing CCC at this stage of the competition, because I think losing in this round is so much better than losing to a very good team in one of the future rounds. But this was rough, man. The injuries are what is making me crash out.
So. Yeah, we haven't really hit on that too much, Ari. I mean, I do want to know, do you think that this depth, well, I guess I'll ask, you know what, we're going to ask our guest here because that's who really matters. Disc Golfer, how do you feel? Do you think that this depth is now non-existent if these injuries are really that severe? Or do you think that, where are you feeling on all that?
Oof. Yeah. I think it's very good that it's just MLS play for the next couple weeks, because I think that maybe gives the team a chance to get, I don't think, well, man, I'm worried about Areola. That looked bad. That looked really bad. Besides that, I think Jordan will come back. Pedro will come back. It sucks for this round. Hopefully Ariel is okay. I don't know if he is, but I think this team still has depth. I want to say, as a Musovski defender, I'm so glad he scored tonight. I think he's been making good runs. He's been taking up good space, but every time the ball came to his feet, he just looked like absolutely like he looked panicked. You know, he had no confidence. So hopefully with that goal, he can become like, I don't know, an average MLS backup striker, which would be great.
Open the floodgates.
So hopefully that helps. No, I'm a bit worried about depth right now. I think the fact that all of the injuries are coming to high level offensive players has me a bit stressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you there. The Areola injury just sucks so bad. I really liked how he was looking and integrating and fitting in with the team. The De La Vega one is obviously, like, we know the history. That's not good. And then, losing Jordan when he's been really hot to start the season too. I don't know.
Good,
I'm not
man.
going to say the depth is chalked, but it's definitely compromised with those three guys going down. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Cool. That's pretty much all I had, but appreciate you guys having me on. And
thank you, golfers. We appreciate you. All right. Next up, Zuazo. Is that correct? Something close to that. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right. Welcome to the stage. Did you call in last time?
I did.
That's right. You're the PhD.
Masters, but yeah.
Masters. Okay. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm giving doctor
can't take
to
false
you.
credit. Yeah.
I'm giving doctor to you. It doesn't matter. We've got a doctor in the house. Go for it. Sorry. Keep cutting you off.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, if you want to be mad about this game, you can't crash out that you lost 4-1 in Concacaf in Mexico, right? That's par for the course. That's something that's not an aberration. But I think you can be mad about that first leg. That game model and everything else is different if there is any sort of goals, right? And woulda, shoulda, coulda. Yeah, if you scored in the first game, everything changes. But Mexico's gonna suck. Like as a place to play. Cruz Azul, they're not at their homestand. That they're not packing out their stadium. That it's gonna be weird and bumpy, and the field's gonna have turf monsters. So it's like, why not try to win in Seattle? And then if you want to do possession-based, absorb pressure and all that kind of stuff, great. Like, we've done it before. So that leads me to maybe the controversy that I want to add into this. Brian Schmetzer is on his 10th season. 8 of our core players are on 5+ seasons. Our notable acquisitions are dudes who I think is fair to say at this point in their career are outside of the national team looking in, if not just written off, and are not expected to make any upward big money moves in their career. I think it's starting to be fair to start recycling the conversation, looking a little side-eye and saying, has the messaging gone stale? Because you can go down that depth chart and what, Pedro is going to carry the intensity of the team. We got bailed out. I was there when Nico Lodero landed, right, in SeaTac. He's a dude, right? And that's just how he is. He is wired to say, I'm putting everybody on my back, whether you like it or not. And looking at Pedro or Jesus or even Obed, we're gonna put them on the pedestal and say, you are now the heartbeat. You're gonna be screaming at dudes like Osvaldo Alonso in the 53rd minute when you don't make a play in Houston. That's tough. And so, to be fair to the team, they've played a lot of minutes. They play a lot of minutes every single year. The season is brutal. But I think maybe you get to start to question, has the messaging gone stale?
That's the biggest scorcher we've had on here.
That's why I said I'm going to start some controversy here.
I love it.
There's a lot to unpack there. I mean, first thing I would say is that I definitely agree that, I said after the first leg that if they end up losing the series, you in large part lost it in the first leg when you didn't score any goals. Even one goal would have entirely changed the complexion of that series. So I would say though that for this team, this team was supposed to be able to go down to Mexico and be able to handle a trip like that and handle a game like that better than they did. They to be fair, they kept it close, but I think they got pretty lucky to keep it as close as they did. That looked like a CCC game that we got used to watching 5-10 years ago when there was like a way bigger gap than there is now. That's like the whole not being able to keep the ball, being under pressure the entire first half. So I think that's why it's sort of the same point I made after the RSL game, I guess. Like what I'm disappointed with is like I think we had high expectations for this group, and they did not meet them in that game at all.
I think they're 100% fair expectations.
Before we lost them.
Oh no!
Can you see? Oh no! All right, sorry, we're booting you now. The takes were too hot. We bricked your internet. I'm sorry. Thank you, Zuazo, for coming on. Next up, James. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right, James Eno, welcome to the stream. Crash out or crash up? Crash out? I don't remember what I was calling it. Crash up, crash out.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to say crash out. You know, the way this offseason was pitched was that we're not going to upgrade at the top end, but we're building depth because we have multiple competitions. Now, not only are we out of the one other competition that we had a legit shot in, all due respect to the Club World Cup, but now the injuries are starting to rack up as well and challenging that depth. So now, in addition to not upgrading at the DP level, the whole sort of raison d'etre of the off season has kind of fallen to the wayside. You know, we've got the 3 U22 slots, but I haven't seen a lot of evidence that we've got the scouting to make good on that.
First of all, incredible word choice.
Yeah,
that was top tier. Second of all, Ari, take it away.
I mean, I think your disappointment is valid. Like, I mean, I think I was kind of just saying it, but when I looked at the off-season moves, I was high on the depth that they were accumulating, and it just feels like it kind of all blew up in one game. So, yeah, no, I feel your frustration there.
Yeah, and with regard to Schmetzer, the previous caller, I'm still not willing to write him off. I think he worked miracles last season, given the challenges that he had to deal with. I think he can work miracles again, but he had a lot of issues thrown at him. I don't think that he had a plan in mind how he was going to integrate the big new expensive signings. I think that's shown in the first few games of the season. I think it was always going to take time to do that. And just with the way the MLS season splits up, you don't have that time before CCC comes in. So I'm not worried about Schmetzer yet. But I think that they've got to do something with those U22s before the window closes. I don't think it looked good for Areola. I wish him the best.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro is always going to be a problem. Morris, that one didn't look too terrible to me, but I just don't know that we can go into this thinking, yeah, we're going to be relying on Danny Musovski a lot. Although fair play to him, he did score.
The Moose agenda to the moon. We need him to come through.
I was happy for Moose.
Yeah, me too.
One positive from that game, and it's literally the only one.
Yeah,
is that I was happy for Moose.
Yeah,
but I hope they've been scouting those U22s.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's hard to rely on a U22 signing. I mean, that's just the reality of this league. Like, to be a game changer, you've seen it a million times. You're not always going to hit, and if you do, sometimes it takes them a full season to really integrate and be stellar. And we saw that with Pedro, and hopefully his injury isn't too bad, but you know what I mean? Like, he's started to look like he's balled out, but it took him a full season. So
yeah,
we will see.
The one thing with U22s I'll say is if they haven't already offered Obed a maximum $1 million U22 contract, I hope they're doing it now, because I don't know that we can replace him.
Ooh, interesting. Keep Obed agenda. It's been launched. Well, James, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, have a good one. All right, Brendan, are you ready? Boom. Welcome to the show. Crash out or crash up?
Probably out.
All right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not feeling good. I have concerns with the formation that we're playing, to be honest. a 3-4-3. I think, especially tonight, you were looking at the back and Reagan and Yamar, they were just being swarmed. And when there was pressure down there, it gets so scrambly, right? We have our midfielders coming back to help, but it looks so unorganized, compared to when we normally have two center backs and a left and a right back. And I don't feel good about this formation for us. And then in addition to that, Jordan Morris, it looked like he was alone on an island and they were trying to hit him with a Hail Mary pass constantly. And a couple of the through balls from Roldan or Ferreira or whoever, they looked pretty good, but he was doing all the work himself. So, I'm not surprised that he got hurt trying to chase one of those down.
He's also been playing a bajillion minutes.
That's actually, that's a fair point.
Like I was really...
We've been talking about how he hasn't been getting rotated enough for our liking. We have been talking about that.
Yeah, which it's like, and I agree with you, like the only path to victory being a quick counterattacking ball to Jordan Morris when your midfield is essentially playing like dog shit and can't make that quick pass out against a really, really quality Cruz Azul team that is going to challenge you every single time in the transition. That's their whole game. That's their whole game model, right? Like they are an incredible transition team. Like they're going to press you super hard and press you super hard. I mean, you saw the whole first half. It was like after the first 10 minutes, all it was the ball was in the Sounders half. And then they would try and play a counterattack, but they just couldn't get it off quick enough, or Jordan Morris wasn't fast enough, or whatever. Like it's just, that is interesting that you bring that up.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at like how we're going to replace him, and I was happy for Moose scoring that goal, but I don't feel good about him, being out there, and so I'm thinking about what we're going to do in the future if Jordan's out for any length of time. I really feel good about Georgie. And, Jesus Ferreira, I want to see something from him. It feels like, he was our big acquisition. And he's had a couple nice, balls that he's put into the middle here and there, but he hasn't really impressed me too much. So
he hasn't looked like the player that we saw for a lot of years at FC Dallas yet. I've liked how he's looked so far, like as a facilitator and how he's combining with guys. But he's from what I've watched him in his career, he's a very goal dangerous player. He has 50 plus MLS goals, and we just haven't seen that yet. So, I'm willing to accept that he's still very new to the team. It takes time to like learn how to play on a new team like this. But I know people are giving him a hard time about that miss tonight. And it was a huge play in the game, so I get it.
Yeah, he just leaned back on it and it was ugly. And so, I'm thinking, with Rusnak going back to like midfield and getting Rothrock or Georgie out there, we could have some options up front, especially with the speed. I think that was the problem. Morris was, he's fast, but he's by himself. And what are you going to do when you're, running at 2, sometimes 3 defenders? I felt so frustrated for him. And so I think Georgie, I think the game would have been really different if Manungu was out there and able to run with him and give him someone to play off. I think back to the days of like, Dempsey and Martin and how they were able to work together to really, dissect the defense. And that's just what I was craving tonight, and we never got it. So
Georgie, the next Oba agenda, is that what I'm hearing?
He's got the speed. He's got the ability to dribble with the ball. I don't know.
I don't know if anyone could beat that Oba finishing though. That was pretty impressive.
That was the other thing too. There was one option where Georgie was making a run into the middle and he laid it off for Costa Rienzi.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just frustrating because I just want him to shoot. I want him to take it with his left
foot. Like he could have kept running.
Yeah. Run it into the back of the net.
Yeah.
Just like get caught in the back of the net. It's fine, dude. As long as the ball goes in, like you get the point. You get the goal,
Yeah, he's such
like
an
extra
player.
XG.
Just do it. Just do something. I want him to be confident and shoot more because he's always looking for the pass. So, yeah.
Sweet. Well, Brendan, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan.
All right, Ari, I'm going to hand over the reins to you. We are going to even record a podcast after this show. Can y'all believe this? This is how much content we are here to give.
We're kind of psycho for that.
But Ari, I'll hand it over to you. I'm going to go get ready and walk over to your house and literally cry in the rain. One thing I want to hit before I do get off, though.
Yeah.
I know Paul Rothrock conceded that penalty, but can I say something? This is my hot take of the game.
Yeah, give me something to launch after you leave.
He should have started. He was the best player out there today.
All right.
He got the assist. Maybe it won't count, but you know what?
He got the assist, and he should have had. He
should have had another one.
He was
playing like a man possessed. He was playing like a man possessed. Ari.
He did.
I'm sorry. You need a psycho like Paul Rothrock when you're playing against Cruz Azul. That's all I'm gonna say. And
I agree that the penalty obviously overshadows a lot, but he was one of the only guys making things happen out there. So I give him credit for that.
Yeah. Well, continue to crash out with Ari again. If you guys, before I do this, there's 100+ people in here and we only have 20 likes. So please hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, please. It helps us with the algo and with our self-confidence, because both me and Ari are very, very, we tie the views and the likes to our self-confidence. So we need that.
That's how, that's how I measure my self-worth. Yeah, like the video, sub to the. I don't know why if anyone in here is not subbed to the channel yet, but if you're not, you should be.
Hit the sub. We will be doing more of these. And if you still want to call in, Ari will be here. The link is in the chat. It's pinned.
Okay.
The lines are open. The lines are open.
We got no one in the queue right now, so if you want to come cope, feel free to queue up. Noah's gonna walk over to my house. I'm gonna keep hanging out. So
all right, thanks chat. I love you. Have fun.
Can we talk about the fact that we didn't get a true dub pod before this looming L pod? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Our schedule got kind of thrown for a loop with a Tuesday game.
That's my fault.
And we couldn't quite make it happen. But we should be back. I mean, now that there's theoretically shouldn't be any Tuesday games for a while, so I don't see why that would happen again. But yeah, sorry. It is a bummer because oh man, guys, the LAFC win looked so good. The vibes were so high. I think I wrote about it in my little Sounder at Heart column, but it felt like divergent vibes. That's why I felt kind of good about this game, because you're coming off a really good 5-goal galvanizing type win where you were playing a pretty rotated lineup and you looked like you basically alphaed LAFC. So it's just unfortunate. It just, I don't know, however much you believe in momentum, that did not carry over at all. I felt like, again, the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game were, I thought, actively good. I really did. 3 minutes after kickoff, I was like, okay, the squad is ready. I don't know if they're gonna win this series, but they look like they're up for it. And then the first half just deteriorated so rapidly. They couldn't keep the ball. It's I think it's easy to blame the attackers in a series where you score 1 goal across 180 minutes and it was off a set piece, and that's fair. But if your midfield is getting run on like that and you just can't keep possession, the amount of giveaways was crazy. It was crazy. There was times where I was just sitting there kind of pulling my hair out, just knock it around a little bit. And even in the times where they would try to do that, they would end up giving it away. So just a letdown. Like I said earlier, I could live with them losing this series. These are hard series. The degree of difficulty on these series against these Liga MX teams is insanely high. So I learned a long time ago to not fully crash out about losing to a Liga MX team in CCC, just because that's the most likely outcome anytime. But I mean, it's just disappointing because it was set up for them. It was set up for them, even with the 0-0 in the first leg. It was set up for them. Reese, I think the JP shout is good, actually, and I had the same thought in the first leg. JP was put on one of the best CCC runs I've ever seen in the 2022 tournament. So I would like to have seen him out there more over both of these games, frankly. Looks like we got Jake in the queue. Jake, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up and we'll bring you on. All right. Jake.
All right.
What's going on, man? We've been asking crash up or crash out. How are you feeling?
Crash up all the way. Come on. It's too early to crash out of this thing. My hot take is that we'll be okay.
Why are you feeling optimistic going forward? Tell me why.
All right. So someone in the chat said that Jesus will play the 9. I think that'll probably happen if Jomo's hurt, and then we'll bring Georgie in on the wing. I mean, we've got 40 games left in the season. Schmetzer puts together a great lineup no matter what we have. Someone even talked about Deuce and Oba being like the drift compatible kind of guys back in that day. I think we got a lot going for us. I think our depth is still strong. We went down to Cruz Azul and got stomped. I mean, that's just what happens. There's just nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about like I'm down to throw down some reasons for hope and optimism, because this is obviously going to be a negative post game. But I guess what I would say is that, like, I really don't think that performance was indicative of the overall quality of the team. I think that was an individual disastrously bad game that happened at a really, really bad, inopportune time. But if I was to assess whether that game actually reflected how good this team is and how good it can be, I really don't think that. I mean, I think we already know, based on what we've seen earlier this season, they are not that bad. They are not that bad.
Someone mentioned the high press, and I think it was 2 seasons ago. It wasn't just last season Schmetzer worked magic. It was 2 weeks or 2 seasons in a row. And there was a season where Portland played us early and played the high press. And I said that they would every team in MLS would play us the way Portland plays at the beginning of that season, and they did, and we ended up figuring it out. So we messed it up. I mean, I think we'll be okay.
Jake, I got one caller behind you in the queue. Any last thoughts, takes, feelings, observations? Let it rip.
Nah, we love you. You and Noah, keep it great. I'll see you later.
Appreciate it, man. Great call. All right, looks like we've got Hunch in the queue. I don't see. Looks like you're going no vid, so I can't do thumbs up. Hunch, I'm gonna put you on here, and we'll find out if it works. Hunch, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts
I can hear you.
after a CCC crash out?
Sweet.
Go ahead.
Not great, but then again, I don't care as much about this tournament as I do the regular season, and
I think I might have lost your audio. Hunch? I think I might have lost.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of lag. It's just a little bit weird. Yeah,
okay,
I'm here.
Yeah, I got you now. Okay, I lost you again.
Overall, I would rather us focus on the regular season. I think we have a tremendous amount of depth. I don't think we have sort of, offense that's focused, whether it be the assistant coaches that, as I said, sharpen the spear. We obviously are defensive forward. This overall is interesting, but I mean, I'm used to being disappointed, I guess.
I mean, I think we're all used to being disappointed by CCC. I mean, it's not just like games like that. It's definitely not something that only afflicts Seattle. That's sort of the classic what it looks like when MLS teams have to go on the road in Mexico. But that's why I'm disappointed, because I had hopes and dreams that this team could rise above that, like we saw them do in 2022. To be fair, like they've shown they can do it in the past. So.
Well, there was talks of overall that like this was a heavily rotated squad, and that you saw what we did against LAFC, who was a big problem with us over the past years, especially at home. And then once we were up 4 or 5, it's like, okay, was there no consideration for any kind of resting or anything to that degree? And then in addition to that, like once we were getting out stamina'd, I guess you could say, in the first 30 minutes, it was just, there was no adaptation in terms of, being prepared for the elevation, or overall just adjusting, from the perspective of like, we just needed a goal, and then we got behind and suddenly we're chasing the game and they just put the foot down.
It looked like, Seattle looked like tired, but like from the beginning of the game. When you're playing at elevation, usually that hits you as you get into the game. Didn't it look like in the first half that they were just a step behind? That's what it looked like to me.
Not at first, I would say. Like we actually looked like we knew what the agenda was. And I'm sorry, that's a little bit like I'm watching your camera.
You're good. You're good.
But then we went into our typical shell, like it happened against LA Galaxy back when they were our nemesis, like years ago, back in the MLS playoffs. They would just press us in the regular season. They would press us in the playoffs. They would come at us and they would push us back. And then suddenly we would like acquiesce. And then we moved beyond that. We figured out how to come back at them with Oba and Deuce. And then eventually we just overall said, okay, offense can be a factor in this, so we can play an even-handed match. And suddenly, look at Papa back when we played in that one match where we just pinged it off the goal and for the supporter shield. We had balance, and then suddenly it's now we're all back to defense. And there's just no emphasis on making the other team concerned about our agenda. We're more about let's respond to theirs, and that if our team decides to pull back, we don't adjust. And I don't know if that's okay. Brian is fine with the fact that we're playing defense.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Too reactive. I would agree with that. Hutch, great call, man. Thanks for coming in and dishing some takes. Appreciate it. I spilled water on myself. God damn it. We're coming up on 53 minutes, so I think I'll hang around until we hit the hour mark. Like Noah said, we're going to do a normal podcast after this because we're psychotic, but links should still be pinned in chat. If anyone else wants to get a final call in, no one in the queue right now. Appreciate everyone who's called in so far tonight. I think this is the most call-ins we've had, and these are a lot of fun. Love hearing from you guys. So anyone is welcome to hop on and dish takes, as long as you don't full on crash out. No full crash outs, but you're definitely welcome to crash out a little bit, especially after a game like that. Looks like I got couple more super chats to hit here. Oh, this is start. Make Sounders fun again. Zippy Tuna, appreciate you again, hitting us all night. Rothrock and Reed when he's back. Key at left wing back now. It's a good point. I mean, Rothrock, with these injuries, the Rothrock, even if the Rothrock agenda was diminished, which it's not, I think it's, even with the penalty, I think these last 2 games, he's looked back to me. So, and then another from Zippy Tuna, like 2018 versus Chivas, we lost Bruin and Chad to injury. Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's just like, it looked like the CCC of old, which is disappointing. Love the post-match lives, cathartic even on an L pod. Yeah, I agree. I actually texted Noah during the game. I was like, the show is like such a good cope, you know? So I appreciate you all for assembling for it. Stilika, the link should be pinned in chat, but I can toss it in again. Hold on. That's the link right there. If anyone doesn't see the pinned, that should allow you to hop on. Be taking calls for a few more minutes here. RBW injury timeline. I don't know exactly, but I think he's probably another couple weeks out at least. It sounded like he did his hammy pretty bad. Given this result, how can we not consider being competitive in Open Cup or even with participating? I mean, it's Defiance in Open Cup this year. Is that what you're saying? Like, all right. Looks like I got Stilika in here. Hopefully I'm saying that right. No video, so I'm just going to add you to the stage and we'll let it rip. Can you hear me? Does not sound like I have audio for you. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. I'm going to remove you real quick, get Brian in here, and then maybe try again and see if I can hear you. Brian, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I got you. How are you feeling? Are you crashing out or are you crashing up?
I'm kind of crashing out. It's just disappointing because I don't think they played like they didn't really outplay us that much. Like if we could have, maybe scored a few chances, not giving away the pen, like it was actually a winnable game, I think.
It was still a winnable game, even with how badly the first half went. And
yeah.
Even after they went down 2 and Moose got the goal, like there was those glorious few minutes where I was like, they could still do this,
Yeah, that's what disappoints me the most because it's not like it was there. Like we could have actually taken it. Like if they completely outplayed us, I would have been like, fair enough. But it's just that the hope, like especially when we scored that goal and there was still like hope there. I was like, it's disappointing, and with the injuries as well. Really,
yeah, I mean, the injury situation that's like the result is one thing, but I think that's the most disastrous aspect of all this is, like now you've got De La Vega and Jordan Morris out for what. I mean, I'm not a doctor and, I can't tell just from watching, but like from what I've seen over the years, those look like kind of 3 to 4 week injuries to me. And the Areola one looks really bad. So,
yeah, I think Areola could be season ending, just the way his reaction was.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with Jordan, he's played like every game, like 45 minutes at least. So we definitely need a striker to rotate because we're just tearing him into the ground.
Yeah, like we mentioned that earlier, but we've been saying that he's not really rotating enough for our liking. It's felt like that he's had to play every game, but like he doesn't have to play every game, So, Brian, real quick before I let you go, how are you feeling about the rest of the season coming up here? Is this dampen your outlook, or are you you feel like they can get back on the horse and contend for some trophies this year?
I think we can contend. Like, hopefully we make a few signings in the summer. Like that's what I want really. But I think we can contend. Like because even last season we started the season terrible and we made it to the Western Conference Final. So I think we'll be good.
That's sort of how I see it too. Brian, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Great stuff. Stalika, I saw you briefly in there, but then you disappeared again. So if you want to try and hop on again, we can see if the audio works. Yeah, the areola injury it looked bad. It looked bad. Defiant striker might get a short-term look. De Rosario had a nice finish last week. I have not watched him that much, but I do know that his dad, Dwayne De Rosario, was a legendary MLS player. So I kind of liked that signing when Defiance did that, just because of that. Bloodlines, but Ariola is not what makes or breaks this team, to be fair. I feel terrible for him because he's great, but that's not what's keeping this team from trophies. Yeah, I mean, that is true, but like when we're talking about why we felt like this team was as deep as it was, he was like a big name in that, I would say. Like he's one of the names I would name for, like, when you do have to rotate and you can put him in there, that's like a great piece to have. All right, I got Stalika in here. It looks like I got video now. Can you hit me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Got you. Okay. How do you pronounce this? Am I saying that right? Oh, it looks like I don't have audio. Are you muted? I don't have audio. Yeah, you're fully muted. All right, I'm going to take you off for now. I can leave you there, and then if you can get the audio working, give me a thumbs up, and we'll get you on here. Can I just ask, for any previous 2 seasons, but especially this season, what is the Sounders' offensive identity / strategy? The attacking identity that I think of when I think of a Sounders team is a team that is really good in possession, hyper technical, and can kind of slice you and dice you, but then is also, when they need to, can get out and run and execute in transition with the best of them. When this team is firing on all cylinders, that's the type of identity, that's the type of stuff that I think we see them do. You do not see that at all tonight. And that's sort of the thing in these situations where they get run on like that. Like the possession element of what I was just talking about just gets totally, like, they couldn't keep the ball at all tonight. And it's frustrating to watch because it's almost like you're drastically diminishing your chances before you even get to anything else, because you need to be able to keep the ball, to state the obvious. So anyway, that's what I consider not just the last couple years, but like over the Schmetzer era. That's how I would describe the attacking identity. Jonathan Martz, separate take and not the cause of this loss. Love Fry, and PKs are supposed to be made 9 out of 10 times. When is the last time he stopped a PK or didn't leave the goal line early? Yeah, I mean, he's never been an especially great penalty stopper. That's just not, like, people have brought up that criticism of him before, that he's like not good at penalties to other goalkeepers. I don't really value that attribute in a goalkeeper that much. Like, it's important and it's nice to have, but like shot stopping and distribution are like, that's what you need first and foremost. Cause like you said, most penalties you're chalked, Fry has a few in his career, to be fair, but like he's not known as being good at that, like Tim Mealy is. All right. Looks like we got a caller in the queue. Bed is Mara. I'm not even gonna try this. I'm gonna bring you on, and you're gonna tell me how to pronounce it. Hello, can you hear me?
Yo, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. How do you say that? I don't want to.
It's my last name and then my first name. It's Betty and then Samrath, but yeah, it's cool.
Oh, okay. Betty Samrath. Gotcha.
Just call me Sam, bro. It's cool. Nah, it's cool.
Right,
You're good. Don't worry.
Sam,
All right.
How are you feeling? Give me your takes.
Okay. I think you probably already had a decent amount of Rust in that cake by now. Rust a little bit.
Actually, no. Go for it. Yeah, we
really. Okay. So yeah, Rusnak shouldn't be a DP. You know, same with Morris. Let's get that out the way first. I mean, that was so bad. I mean, that was disgusting from everyone on the attack. I mean, I guess we had our chances, but Morris doesn't have it anymore. He just doesn't. It's not the same. Not remotely close to being the same. Yeah, he can finish a tap in every once in a while. Shout out to the wingers for helping him out there, but yeah, honestly, we need to let him go. He's all-time leading scorer now. I think it's time to just let it go. But here's the issue, though. We are too broke to buy him out. Because he's on a DP. Why would he ever want to leave off a DP right now? This is like, on contract-wise, this is the peak of his career. He's not getting paid any more money than this. So why would he want to leave? You feel me? So to me, it just seems like the front office just doesn't, any higher up, don't have any ambitions. Doesn't.
This is heat. We got Morris out. We got Rusnak out. Are you?
No, go ahead.
I mean, I guess it sounds like you're pretty much out on the whole operation at this point. Like blow it all up, or I mean, what's your thoughts on how to rectify the problems you've cited?
Okay, so step one, not making any signings like De La Vega. Yes, he's young. Yes, it's good promise. Yes, a lot of money. But you can already see the issues with it. And he's always hurt. And he just doesn't look like a 7.5 million signing to anybody, right? So I think taking a step from Garth when he was in office here, where he would only sign players who are proven. And they're not too old, but not too young. They're proven, they're winners, and they can do the job, and they can get it done. Roughneck, I mean, he fits the criteria, kind of. He's not a proven winner, but he has experience. But we need someone different. We don't need anyone from MLS. We don't need anyone within MLS. You feel me? Same with Ferreira. I mean, Ferreira's cool. He's on a TAM, so I'm okay with him. He could be a good backup. He could see this is one thing I don't like, and I'm going like a little bit off topic here, but I don't like how Ferreira isn't playing his natural position, and I don't like how we're utilizing him like a Swiss knife. He should be playing the number 9. And I think De La Vega should also be playing the number 10, even though he's more of a winger. But I think the way he plays compared to everyone else, he really pushes that ball forward compared to just everyone passing backwards to the side. He uses the middle of the field a lot more than everyone else. We didn't see any of that tonight.
Sam, I'm going to let you go on that. I got another person in the queue. Thanks for the call, though. That was the hottest call of the night so far.
Yeah, no, some people told me to hop in, so I had to, you know.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, looks like we're going to give Stalika one more try here. If we can't get your audio this time, it might just be chalk, but we're going to give this one more try. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I moved to the phone, so it's actually Stilika, which is
sorry.
Yeah, no worries. He was a famous German player back in the 80s when I lived over there. And so my friends started calling me that because my last name was a portion of his.
Oh, okay. That's a good backstory.
Yeah, it works for me. So, and nobody knows what the hell it is or how to pronounce it, so it makes it interesting. So yeah, on his points, he's talking about nobody from MLS. What would Evander do up front for us? You know, he's a true 10. He's a true 9. Excuse me. He's a true 9. He's somebody that we probably should have went after, but I don't think we had the salary cap room for. Rusnik's fine. Rusnik is a baller. He should be on this team. He proved it last year. He's already proving it this year. Under a salary cap rule, we can't keep up with the top shelf teams from Mexico. They're going to win 8 times out of 10.
It's like the 2022 win was amazing. It was legendary. It's one of the sickest things an MLS club has ever done. It might be the coolest thing an MLS club has ever done. It was an outlier as historically, and I think didn't this game tonight kind of show that that's still the case?
Absolutely, in my opinion, it showed us that when they brought players in, their depth was so much higher than ours. Don't get me wrong, I love our homegrown players and the steps they've taken over the last couple of years. Rothrock is a rock star, but it's not the same as bringing in a top shelf player like they're bringing in, and that just comes down to money. And until that evens up, it doesn't even have to be even, but gets in the same ballpark, then we can consider that we should win that, not could we win that.
Right. Like I feel like it is I mean, it's almost like a broken record because we talk about that with CCC every year, but it is true. But I will say, like, the further I get away from it and the more that I watch CCC and MLS clubs try and compete in it, it makes the 2022 run like insane in retrospect. Like, because they not only won it, but they were pretty dominant in that tournament the entire time. I think they had like a +11 goal differential. What a freaking run that was. That's sort of
it was unbelievable. And players like Freddie Montero were just, crucial. And there's a player that played in Europe that came back and gave us every last little bit he had in that year, So that's the backups you need coming in, is players that have that skill, that experience. I mean, he was an absolute sniper, and finished like a champ on those.
Stilica, is that what you said it was? Sorry,
Stilica, yeah, steel like the metal. Okay,
Stilica. Before I let you go here, give me your last thoughts on just the outlook of the team for the rest of the season. Are you feeling good about contention? Are you
I'm absolutely
how are you feeling?
I'm absolutely feeling good about MLS Cup and competition as long as our players are not long-term injuries. We need De La Vega back. We need Morris back. What I saw on the Areola one did not make me happy. So that looked like he was hurt bad. Like patella, something like that. But I think we can do well in MLS. I wouldn't hold our breath in Club World Cup, obviously, and leagues is kind of a crapshoot. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, appreciate you taking my call. I'll be subscribing to your service here when I get off the phone here. Look for Tacos for Ticos, which is our nonprofit. I'll put it under that name.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate the call. We're trying to do these call-in shows regularly, so anytime. Great call. All right, no one else in the queue right now. Sam, you were fine. It wasn't a full-on crash out. It was a little bit of a crash out, but no, we respect Brigade around here, even if we disagree. Watch the Morris goals compilation today, and so many of them came from Ladero passes. Jordan needs service. We haven't had consistent service from the midfield since Nico dropped off. I mean, I think Rusnak gives him great service. I think that's his strongest attribute, and I think the way that those two combine is very good a lot of the time. It wasn't tonight, but even tonight, Rusnak's set pieces were on point in this game. That's the only way that they got a goal was through that. So I think it's like the problem last year to me is that it was only those two guys. That's why I kind of don't agree with people who were blaming them or saying that it was an indictment of their DP status, that the offense underperformed last year. To me, they were the only guys on the offense who were performing, and they didn't have enough around them. They didn't have enough support. That's how I see it. So, hopefully the attack gets more multifaceted this year. That's what we were hoping would be the case with De La Vega coming back, Ferreira in the fold. So there's still time for that to come true. But, Noah's calling me right now. What up, dude? I'm still streaming. Okay, I'll let you in. 1 second, guys. I got to buzz Noah into my apartment, but I'll be right back. All right. Well, with his arrival, about to start wrapping it up here. In fact, I'm going to wrap it up because we're going to record a pod right now. So appreciate you all.
In-person crash out.
Appreciate you all tuning in, and everyone who called in. Love it. There's great calls tonight. We really like hearing from you guys. Okay, B, I see you in the queue. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here because I got to get up early tomorrow. So I got to lay down this pod, but call in next time. We'll try and get to everyone. Shout out and RIP to Concacaf Champions Cup. Great tournament. It was a lot of fun. We'll always have the memory. Make sure you pour one out for CCC. And there's still an entire damn season in front of us. So we'll be here grinding this content. That's what we're doing right now. So
make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, patron our subs. I'm actually wearing a Podium menswear shirt right now. Sweater. Anyway, that's all of my shilling.
All right. This dub pod, this L pod, this L pod will probably be out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
All right. Keep your eyes out for the L pod. And what even day is it? And then I'm streaming on Thursday evening. All right.
Bye, chat.
Bye. Don't want to give money to the oligarchs, but love lobbing Scorchers? Do we have a deal for you? MLS Season Pass is back on Apple TV with access to every single MLS match, including Leagues Cup and the entire Audi MLS Cup playoffs with no blackouts. It's not just the games, you get total access to the pre- and post-match MLS 360 whip-around show in both English and Spanish, and get live look-ins and highlights from around the league, as well as full match replays and recaps. Now, you can support our show by visiting lobbingscorchers.com/Apple TV to purchase your subscription and support our show.
Lobbingscorchers.com/Apple TV. Please, don't let the oligarchs win.